A stadium gets built with public bonds, public land, or public infrastructure. Then the private side keeps the upside, not the team, not the sweet buyers, not the people naming the building. The city gets the invoice, and the pitch is never, "Please subsidize my privately controlled asset." That would be rude. It is jobs, visitors, civic pride, downtown revival, the whole ceremonial nacho economy. If this were just bad economics, it should die quickly. It does not. Because the sales pitch is not stupid, and to be fair, the activity is visible. That is exactly why the trick works. The stadium may not create a new entertainment dollar. It may just intercept the dollar before the movie theater, bowling alley, or restaurant gets it. Same wallet, different costume. The city sees crowds. The brochure calls it impact. The budget still has to ask, impact compared to what? The budget question is not, did people spend money? It is, was this better than what the city gave up? Some jobs are real, but a hot dog stand shift on game day is not an economic moon landing. And this is where the spreadsheet loses to the ribbon. A stadium is visible, photogenic progress, the rare spreadsheet you can cut a ribbon on. The ribbon arrives now. The bill arrives later, scattered across taxpayers and allergic to cameras. So the deal can fail as investment and still work beautifully as political theater. Because a teen is not just a business. It is a scarce emotional asset with a moving truck. If a warehouse threatens to leave, people ask for the jobs number. If a team threatens to leave, people remember their childhood. A team carries local news cycles, weekend rituals, and a voting block in jerseys. That emotional value is real. The trick is converting it into public leverage. So the owner does not need to prove the stadium is a great investment. They just need the city to believe another city might love the team enough to pay. One city can say no and feel fiscally responsible for about 12 seconds. Then the story becomes, officials let the team leave. The owner does not need to win the argument. The shadow city may be real, exaggerated, or implied. Either way, it changes the negotiation. It makes every no sound like the first step toward losing the franchise. Now it is not one city deciding whether a stadium is worth it. It is several cities proving which one fears losing more. Refusing may be the right budget choice, and still become the headline, officials lost the franchise. That is the trap. The subsidy stops looking like a gift. It starts looking like ransom with better branding, and the ransom is only the entrance fee. The real prize is what the stadium controls around it. The valuable thing is not only the game, it is controlling the places money must pass through on game day. The game sells the tickets. The district sells the right to build, rent, advertise, and charge near the crowd. A stadium can turn one building into a control point. The polite phrase is mixed-use development, which is just real estate wearing a team jersey. That phrase matters because the stadium can make surrounding land more valuable, and the public may have helped lower the risk with land, infrastructure, bonds, or tax structures. Once the project works, the upside often flows toward whoever controls the district. The stadium gathers the crowd. The surrounding rights decide who gets to charge the crowd. So the stadium is not just where games happen. It is a platform with a public bill underneath it. Then comes the softest phrase in the room, community benefit. Community benefit is where the brochure gets emotional and the contract gets technical. The phrase sounds like ownership. Usually it means selected promises, local hiring, public events, youth programs. Nice things, sure, but nice things around the edges of a deal someone else controls. That is the trick. The team feels public. The loyalty is public. The risk can become public, but the control terms may stay private. The owner has the scarce asset. Politicians have the fear of blame. Rival cities keep the threat alive. Fans apply the emotional pressure. The contract decides who gets the cash flow. So the public is not really buying prosperity. It is buying the right to keep being a fan at home. Fans are not stupid for caring. The problem is that caring becomes collateral. The love is not fake. That is what makes it useful. That is the trick. Once private leverage wears a community jersey, the public bill starts sounding like loyalty. Revision, knots. Applied the hook change with public bonds, public land, and infrastructure as the financing texture. Pasted text. Compressed the opening brochure section so the substitution mechanism arrives faster. Replaced the abstract net benefit line with a clearer opportunity cost question. Tightened the political theater block into immediate ribbon versus delayed bill. Clarified the shadow city mechanism as real, exaggerated, or implied bargaining pressure. Rebuilt the ransom transition so adjacent real estate feels like escalation, not a second essay. Added concrete community benefit examples without inventing a specific deal. Left the generic city team structure unchanged and did not use the unrelated sleep research.